Good evening, everyone. My name is Jean Seiner, and I am one of the school counselors at Jackson Memorial High School. Tonight, I will be providing financial information for the seniors for their financial aid parent night. I am also part of New Jersey Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, an organization well known in the state of New Jersey. New Jersey Higher Education Student Assistance Authority is the only state agency with their sole mission of providing students and families with financial and informational resources. We are preparing you for college. We are giving as much information as we have to provide you with the educational resources that you need. Let's start with the goals of the Financial Aid Office at the colleges and the universities that you seniors are going to be applying to. The primary goal is to assist students in paying for college. This is achieved by evaluating the family's ability to pay, distributing limiting resources, providing a balance of gift aid and self-help aid, and implementing regulations. The colleges have a lot of regulations and deadlines that they have to follow. And in order for that to happen, you have to make sure that you're doing everything you can on your end. There will be deadlines throughout this process, and you want to make sure that you're following the state, federal deadlines. And I will be sure to touch base on what those deadlines are. There are various types of aid available. They range from federal, the state of New Jersey, the colleges or universities, and outside organizations. The types of aid include grants, scholarships, loans, and employment opportunities. There's something called a net price calculator that you should be utilizing at this point. This is a great tool in order to calculate some of the expenses that may come your way through the colleges. The net price calculator is located on the college websites themselves. Usually it's under the financial aid website. So go ahead and start checking those out and make sure you're estimating the individual net price per institution. This helps to be a well-informed student. This is based on a full-time, first-degree certificate-seeking undergraduate student. The prices will vary, obviously, for the institutions. So you want to make sure you're doing your research. Now is the time to start taking some of those steps. Let's go into some of the types of aid. There's federal aid. The federal aid includes Pell, SEOG, and the Teach Grant. Pell has a maximum award of $6,345. SEOG has a max of about $4,000. And the Teach, which does have some stipulations, is about $3,764. Now these are based on the 2021 numbers. So you want to make sure that those are included. And in order to be eligible for some of this, you have to fill out a FAFSA. And I will go into that process as we go along. New Jersey has a tuition aid grant. A grant is free money. No matter what, you want to make sure you take advantage of grants, if you're eligible. You must file a FAFSA or apply for the New Jersey Alternative Financial Aid application. You must demonstrate financial need. This will be determined by the FAFSA. Be a U.S. citizen, eligible non-citizen, must be a resident in New Jersey and attend a New Jersey institution. So for those going out of state, you would not necessarily be eligible for a New Jersey tuition aid grant unless you're staying in state. You must be full-time at a degree, an approved degree program, and you must meet all state deadlines. Part-time tuition aid grants are available for county colleges. Again, you must meet all the tuition aid requirements, with the exception of being enrolled for 6 to 11 credits per semester. Other types of aid include the EOF, the Educational Opportunity Fund. The award ranges up until about $2,600. You must demonstrate a disadvantaged background. You must file the FAFSA or the New Jersey Alternative Financial Aid application. There's something also called the Governor's Urban Scholarship. All this information is on the New Jersey HESAA website. It will explain everything to you. The New Jersey Urban Scholarship doesn't necessarily apply to Jackson students, but there may be other opportunities. So check out the New Jersey HESAA website. New Jersey STARS is a great program throughout our state that is available for those who attend the in-county college. New Jersey residents rank within 15% So at the end of your junior year, you would be eligible if you're within 15% of your class. Your guidance counselor would be able to explain this to you if you have any questions. New Jersey STARS is also listed on the New Jersey HESAA website with the other requirements. There's also a STARS 2 program that you may be eligible to go on to. This helps with costs, and we are all about making sure that you are getting the most out of New Jersey schools. In regards to scholarships, there's also a Governor's Industry Vocation Scholarship for women and minorities. This would have to be somebody going into certain fields like construction supervision, solar energy technology, architectural engineering, and again, it's for women and minorities. So students could get up to $2,000 for their costs. There's also something in regards to the Community College Opportunity Grant. It would help pay for tuition and approved funds. The adjusted gross income must be at a max of about $65,000 a year. Must be a New Jersey resident attending a county college of residence. So for us in Jackson, it would be Ocean County. File your FAFSA, or again, the New Jersey Alternative Financial Aid application, a minimum of 6 credits per semester, making satisfactory academic progress, as well as completing the state grant record. So again, this information would be available on the New Jersey HESAA website. There are other ways to max out your time at a college in regards to your finances. You want to make sure that you're getting some self-help loans if needed. There are monthly payment plans available by the school. So if you contact the bursar's office and say, hey, I can pay $1,000 a month cash, can you please deduct that off my bill? They'll set up a payment plan, usually interest-free, to be able to cover those costs. There's the Federal Direct Loan Program. This comes from the FAFSA, so you want to make sure you fill out your application to see if you're eligible for the subsidized Stafford loan or unsubsidized Stafford loan. They are need-based loans. The subsidized Stafford is about $3,500 at a max, so it's not too much money, but the unsubsidized gives you an additional $2,000 if you're eligible. This is per year, and this is based on first-year dependent students. The unsubsidized Stafford accrues interest while the student's in school, versus the versus the subsidized Stafford loan, which does not accrue interest. Either loans are great to start with in your financial aid process. There's also a direct loan program, which is 2.75% plus an additional 1.05 origination fee. Origination fees are very normal when it comes to the financial aid process. When you're taking out a loan, you may get a $2,000 loan. However, only about $1,800 will actually credit to the student's account because of that origination fee. You really want to make sure you're paying attention to all the fees that come across with these loan programs so that you're informed about how much you should actually be taking out. An additional self-help loan that may help cover the gap is a New Jersey class loan. This loan is covered through the state of New Jersey. This is a bonded loan program, okay? So let me go into some of the fixed rates. For 10-year fixed rate, it starts at 3.7%. A 15-year fixed rate is 4.25%. 20-year fixed rate, 5.1%. And they all have a 3% origination fee. So keep that in mind when you're doing your comparisons. There's also a Federal Plus program, which is a 5.3% with a 4.236% origination fee. And the parent is the borrower on this loan. So when you're comparing your options, make sure you know if the student is the borrower versus the parent and what your options are in regards to borrowers and co-borrowers. All right, the next slide is going to show institutional and private scholarships. We are very lucky here at Jackson Memorial High School and Jackson Liberty. We have a program called Naviance, which does help our students get some of those private scholarships. That's a national scholarship website. Jackson also does local scholarships. So we want to make sure our Jackson students are well aware that these opportunities are available to them. Just listen to the announcements. They usually come out about February, and there is an application to be eligible. So factors that may influence eligibility for some of these scholarships include, but are not limited to, academics, SAT scores, AP courses, activities, academic track, and you can read the rest of the list. There's a lot on it that includes talent, gender, class rank. So the way a student has performed in the last 4 years of their high school career will help dictate if they're eligible for some of this scholarship money. This slide just shows applications to access the aid. Studentaid.gov, student.collegeboard.org/profile, HESAA.org that I keep referring to. So you want to make sure you're well informed and you're able to get on these websites and do some research. There's a lot of resources on these sites. I keep talking about the FAFSA, but I don't want to leave out another application that some schools would mandate a student apply. It's called the CSS Profile. Nearly about 400 colleges use this profile, so it's definitely not as much as the FAFSA, but it still may be an additional application that's needed. The CSS Profile can be accessed on www.student.collegeboard.org/profile. And there's also a support number and another website for the non-custodial parent. Okay, let's get into the FAFSA. The FAFSA is a free application for federal student aid. Everybody going to school should be applying and using the FAFSA. It's free, okay? You can put up to 10 schools on this application. It is available October 1st, so lucky for you, you are informed. Now is the time to apply. Regardless of where you are in the application process, now is the time to fill out your FAFSA. You can put schools on there that you have not yet applied for, and schools that are a reach to you, and schools you may not necessarily end up applying to. They will only use this information if and when you're applied and you're accepted, okay? So you can do it mobile. There's a web browser. You could do it on your mobile phone. You could do it on a tablet. You're using the prior year's taxes. So you are going to use 2019's taxes, which are already done, so there's no need to wait to do this. There's also something called the IRS Data Retrieval tool. It pretty much puts in all the information for you. So as long as those taxes are done from 2019, you'll be able to use this retrieval tool to fill in some of these numbers. This slide basically talks about notification of which tax year to use, so you want to make sure you pay attention to that. We are using the 2019 tax returns for this. Again, submit that free application for federal student aid at the earliest deadline. Pay attention to each individual school deadlines because they do vary. In order to maximize consideration for federal, state, and institutional aid, you have to meet their deadlines, and you have to make sure the application deadlines are met, or else you could be disqualified. You could be missing out on money, federal, state, and institutional money that could cost you thousands. Please make sure you start an Excel spreadsheet with all the colleges you're thinking about and their deadlines so you don't miss anything important. Again, the FAFSA can be accessed through www.studentaid.gov. There are pins that need to be made, so a student would have their own username and password, and a parent would have their own username and password. If you have twins going to college, the twins would have their own passwords while the parent has their own passwords. So 3 passwords, but the parent will use theirs twice. Again, utilize that IRS data retrieval tool. It will help populate some of that income and tax information for you. Okay, let's go into that IRS data retrieval tool I keep talking about. It's used to transfer the information from your taxes to the FAFSA, beginning October 1st. So again, that key date is October 1st. Tax filers who file married filing separately and foreign tax returns cannot use the data retrieval tool. So there will be instances where you're not able to use it. However, most of the time, students will be able to access that. The original data will be transferred. So again, 2019 data information. Okay, what is the Federal Student Aid ID? That is basically the student's username and password to get into the access of the FAFSA. If you're a parent of a dependent student, you will need your own FSA ID. All the information is provided to you on that website, and it will walk you through the steps. So let's start with fsaid.ed.gov, and that's your starting point on getting this information. All right, let's go into general highlighted eligibility requirements for the FAFSA, the very important application that everybody's going to do. You must have a valid Social Security number. You must be enrolled or accepted for enrollment in an eligible program of study. You must be pursuing a degree, certificate, or recognized credential. U.S. citizen or eligible non-citizen, as well as males must be registered for the Selective Service. Basically, the FAFSA collects all your financial information. It collects all the data from your household, student demographics, student income and assets, your dependency and independency statuses. The parent demographics piece is who is the parent. So I will give you a scenario on what to base this off of. When a parent is using the FAFSA, it's the custodial parent, the person that has the student more. The finances and who declares them on the taxes has nothing to do with the FAFSA information. You want to make sure the custodial parent, the one that deals with the student more, the student may live with, is the one filling out the FAFSA. If that parent is remarried, then it's this parent as well as the step-parent that must fill out the FAFSA with them in one FAFSA ID, so they will be joined. The Social Security number is included, last names, date of birth. The FAFSA also includes household size, the number in college, the parent's income and assets, and federal means and tested benefits. So if you receive Medicaid or free and reduced lunch, that will also be included. Again, I mentioned previously, you can put up to 10 schools on this FAFSA. In order to be eligible for state aid, on the confirmation page of the FAFSA, there will be a link to start your state application. You want to make sure your New Jersey state-based financial aid is put into consideration. All right, some common mistakes that are made on the FAFSA. The student's name appears wrong, you mix up the Social Security number, the parent section versus the student section is incomplete, the taxes versus taxes withheld, parent and student assets. Make sure every line is filled out on your FAFSA. 0 is a number. Be sure to include the college grade level. Be sure to not skip any gender questions. That's a common mistake that is made on the FAFSA. When the student applies for financial aid through the colleges and the universities or through the state, they may be pulled for something called verification. That is basically just to apply verifying information that they are accurate and all the information on the FAFSA is correct. So don't be alarmed, just make sure that you're filling that verification form out timely. You're following all those deadlines because that could cancel out any aid that you may be eligible for. The school's responsible for verifying information. HESAA is also responsible. So schools may be sending the request by mail or by email. Just make sure you're checking all this information. Also check your student account and the NJFAMS account for required tasks. Everything will be listed that you need to know. So if you're missing any documentation, it will be there also. There's also a 609 number that I can provide to you at the end of this PowerPoint in order to be able to contact the state directly to clarify if you are missing any documents and what specifically they need to get this process moving. There's something called a New Jersey Alternative Financial Aid Application. This is for students who are enrolled. It allows the New Jersey Dreamers to be eligible to attend and apply for state financial aid. So that application is also on the financial aid website of HESAA. New Jersey also has a New Jersey FAMS website. You want to make sure the student gets on there to be sure they're doing everything they need to do in order to make their eligibility for grants known. So get on this website, create a username and a password, and it will give you all the information listed if there's anything missing for their application. The New Jersey FAMS website is a very useful tool. It will give a to-do list. You'll be able to view and update your school of choice, apply online for scholarships. It'll show eligibility information. You'll get notifications as well as all your contact information. It should also indicate on there that your 21-22 school year FAFSA is received. So it will be green on there. This is a great tool to use and utilize throughout this financial aid process. All right, let's go into the cost of attendance for the schools. That is basically the budget you have to work off of for the school year. Mind you, the FAFSA and any applications that you have to do for financial aid is a yearly process. So this isn't a one-time deal. Every year the cost of attendance may change, usually goes up, and every year you'll have to do the FAFSA and the CSS Profile. So what is the cost of attendance? The cost of attendance includes tuition and fees, room and board, loan fees, study abroad. It is the big package. It is the whole number that will include the expenses to attend that university for a school year. There are some unexpected costs throughout this process. Remediation classes, changing a major, studying abroad, or transferring are all included in these unexpected costs. So try and take this into consideration when you're doing the financial aid process. When you fill out your FAFSA, you're going to receive something called an expected family contribution, an EFC. The EFC is used no matter what college or university you attend. It could be a New Jersey school, it could be out of state, it could be a county college. That EFC sticks with you for the year. So it's based on the financial aid package. It's a federal formula that calculates need using the information you applied within the FAFSA application. The EFC and the financial aid need are guidelines that are used by the school to determine the financial aid package. The EFC is not necessarily equal to the family's out-of-pocket expenses. So let's go into a sample of the EFC for the Smith family. Family lives in New Jersey, married parents, both 52 years old. The household size is 4 with 1 child going to college. The 2019 adjusted gross income is $120,000 a year. The assets are $20,000, and the student income is 0. That EFC is calculated at $20,830. Like I mentioned, that EFC is constant no matter what school or university the student attends. So we're going to be looking at the cost of attendance, the EFC for the schools, as well as the financial need. At a community college, the cost of attendance may be $5,860. That EFC, that constant number that was previously determined, the $20,830, would show a need of 0. The student was to attend a state college or university with a cost of attendance of $25,561. The EFC of, again, that constant number, $20,830, would show a financial need of $4,731. Lastly, we're going to look at the private college or university cost. The cost of attendance could be up to $45,676. The EFC, $20,830, that's the constant row that we're working with, would bring us to a financial need of $24,846. So you could see the EFC is constant. That need would change based on what the cost of attendance would be. All right, so what is the cycle of financial aid? Now is the time, as I've previously said numerous times, to fill out that FAFSA application and/or CSS Profile. The college search, college application process. That goes from October to about March. February to about May, you're going to start receiving your award letters. The award letter would state any scholarships and monies you receive from the financial aid. You want to make sure that applications complete early, this way you get the award letter early. June and July, the school sends the fall bill, so it's right around the corner. So the earlier you do your FAFSA application and all those other applications, you'll be able to make an informed decision once you receive those award letters and that fall bill comes. So where do you go from here? Again, look at deadlines. Obtain all the information, all the financial aid materials, and watch those deadlines for each individual school that you're applying to. And meet those deadlines. If you have to do the CSS profile, make sure it's done. If you're doing your FAFSA, which everybody should be doing, make sure that's done. October 1st, tonight, October 1st, you want to make sure you just get it going. The sooner, the better. Tuition aid grant also has requirements, so you have to make sure you meet their deadlines as well. Incoming students versus juniors have a different deadline, so make sure you're watching that New Jersey website to be sure you're meeting any of those deadlines as well. Other resources that are available. Outside scholarships, like I previously said to our Jackson students. Naviance is a great tool for those national scholarships, and we also have the Jackson scholarships that we use here, which is an application sometime in February, so keep your eyes out for that. The payment plans through the campuses and the universities, campus employment. Colleges usually don't allow students to apply for employment their first semester on campus. So it may be not until second semester, so include that in your planning. And there's also other campus opportunities, resident advisor, student ambassadors, student tour guides, and internships that your students should be taking advantage of. I'm just including on this slide some private scholarship searches. Look at the local libraries, local businesses, parents' employment, HESAA.org, fastweb.com, collegeboard.org, and mappingyourfuture.org are all great resources to use in the scholarship search. New Jersey also offers a NJBEST college savings plan, which is a $529 savings plan that also awards a scholarship up to $1,500 if you attend a New Jersey institution. So the funds would be applied for the freshman year. A qualified withdrawal must be taken, and all the information again is on the HESAA website. But on this slide, it does give some more information on there, so I'll give you a second to just read there. All right, as I mentioned, I'm from HESAA, and the state has a lot of resources and services available. So some of the websites is HESAA.org, NewJerseyGrants.org, NewJerseyClass.org, and the NJFAMS.HESAA.org. There's also a customer care line, 609-584-4480. They are there Monday through Thursday, 8 to 8 p.m., and Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. So take advantage of that. If you have financial aid questions, they'll be able to walk you through the process. NJBEST and mappingyourfuture.org are also other websites that are available. Any questions? So take all your questions. I know we're virtual tonight, but take your questions, email them to your counselors. Reach out if you have any questions to me. I'm on the Jackson Memorial website. I'll be happy to assist you. And it was great to have you all here tonight, and thank you so much.